Hi, welcome to the Hyperfixated Fan. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Hunter.
And today we're talking about Our Flag Means Death.
That good pirate show.
Yes, it's a good gay pirate show.
It came out, a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure that was the only advertising it needed was people like, hey, have you seen the gay pirate show yet?
Yeah, it was just by word of mouth, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw an ad for it. It was mostly just like on Twitter, just like, have y'all seen the gay pirates?
Yeah, literally.
And then it was a lot of like, oh, it's just like one of those like, oh, y'all say it's like the gay show,
but
like,
is it?
And then you watch like a single episode,
and then you're like, yes,
oh, shit, no, it is though. Actually,
it is actually
it's the gay pirate show.
Yeah. I remember I started watching it because I saw like a Tumblr like GIF set of like the end of episode 8, I want to say, is when like they get thrown on the deck and like captured.
The boots.
Feet. But I really liked when they were the feet. When they were like just like sitting there and like turning to each other and smiling. I thought that was really cute. I was like, okay, this is obviously gay. Like, I have to watch this now.
So cute. It's just a good, like, season 1,
season
especially,
10 out of 10.
A feel-good show. Like, I mean, yeah, a lot of shit happens, and there's a lot of, like, you feel bad for, like, very empathetic for the characters, and there's a lot of, like, personal life and depth to all the characters.
Yeah.
But you also just watch it and you're just like, this feels good. I like this stupid little pirate crew and their stupid little anachronisms.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's funny, it's enjoyable, and I love them all. They're all so dumb.
I think it has, like, season 1 has a good, like, balance between drama and comedy.
Yeah,
I think it does a really good job of that.
I would agree.
So it feels light to me.
Yeah.
Like, even though stuff happens, it doesn't feel like super freaky.
Yeah, I don't think it dives too far into the drama. It's a good balance.
Good balance. Yeah.
Season 2 gets a little heavier. Just a wee bit.
Yeah.
So like, heads up if you're going to be starting this show now. Heads up that season 2 does get darker. There's still plenty of humor, plenty of hilarity, plenty of gentle moments between the characters, but it does good, especially in the first couple of episodes.
It's way more drama,
heavy.
It was like not at all what I was expecting, and I was kind of sad about it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the show got canceled after season 2, so we did not get to see they were planning for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to see kind of the full evolution of the arcs that was initially planned,
which is annoying, of course.
Yeah, and you could kind of see that they were already struggling with season 2.
Yeah,
to get like the full story of the season 2.
It definitely felt to me like they were just smushing everything in there.
Yeah, they were like really condensing.
And I was like, if you're smushing this much in there, just take some shit out. Like, you don't need to have all of this.
Exactly. But I know there were a lot of people that were like unhappy with season 2, and I won't say that like there were some parts of it that I was disappointed with, but I still enjoyed it as I watched it, and like I had a good time while I watched it. But yeah, no, I mean, I wish we had been able to at least round out the whole stories to see where they were going with it. I hold out hope that they were attempting that they had a conclusion they were leading towards, I guess.
I was thinking too, like, season 1 is like meet cute, like initial development. Season 2 is like the angst, and season 3 is like happily ever after. So that would have been great.
I would have loved to have reached their conclusion.
Yeah.
We're probably not ever gonna get that season 3. It was canceled. I don't think another network at this
probably
point is
not
gonna pick it up.
Probably
it's been
not
too long.
Yeah.
But, anyway, that's the developmental arc. So let's actually talk about the fun stuff in this show.
Yeah.
So we're just being downers.
So season 1, we'll start there just chronologically. But first introduction to Rhys Darby at all. Like, obviously, I think before that I'd seen What We Do in the Shadows, but like I didn't know about Rhys, you know.
Yeah. This was my first. Like, I have definitely encountered his media before. I realized recently that he was actually the voice of
the guy in Voltron.
Voltron, yeah. He was.
I don't know.
God, I'm blanking on his name, but mustache boy. Conan? Is that his?
No,
it's not Conan. It's something similar like that? It's
I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a hot minute, dude.
Yeah.
Since I haven't looked at anything Voltron.
Yeah.
But he's that guy in
He's
Voltron.
that guy in Voltron.
Which is so funny, because I just, like, saw a clip, and I was like, is that the fucking story?
Yeah. Now that we know, like, who he is and what he sounds like.
Yeah, so anyway, I've been exposed to his music like that, and then, of course, like, some What We Do in the Shadows, and other stuff, but this was my first time to be like, who is this? This is a man that I want to care about.
Yeah, it was a great introduction. Like, I love Reese now.
So
Like, I watch
good.
him in so much stuff, and he has a podcast I listen to.
Oh, yeah?
He's got a podcast on cryptids, which is my shit.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's great. I'll give it to you. It's so great.
And he plays Captain Stede Bonnet,
Yes.
the gentleman pirate.
Yes.
Just like a wealthy landowner who just decides he's gonna ditch his family and go be a pirate now.
Yeah.
Which, like, God, he does his family so dirty.
Yeah, for sure.
He, like, one thing I do love about the show is that they never take the main characters and are like, these are actually good people. They're like, oh no, look at what they fucked up, y'all.
Yeah.
So and they do make them face the consequences for that frequently.
For sure.
And so, like, yeah, he, like, fully ditches his wife and his 2 children to just go play pirate. And he hires a crew, builds a big ship, big fancy ass ship. I love his ship.
The ship is great.
It's got a library and a secret walk-in closet.
Yeah.
And, like,
it looks cool.
It's got, like, indoor sports court or something.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Like, they mention it, we never
just
get
below
to see
deck.
it. Whatever. It's just like his fancy ass nobleman's ship.
It's cool.
And
The secret closet.
The secret closet is so good. Yeah, Stede Bonnet, ladies and gents.
Love Stede.
So funny. Such, like, a little, like, Ponzi boy. And, you know, we see him, like, mocked as a child for that.
Yeah.
Because he just prefers being, like, refined and pretty and caring about all of that stuff.
I feel like season 1 is about Stede and season 2 is more about Ed.
Yeah, definitely to an extent.
Like, we still get both in both, but still, it's a bit, like, balanced.
Yes, the focus on, like, the lifestyle of Stede versus, I would agree for sure.
Or, like, the character development.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. But I love Steve so much. He's very autistic, and I love him. Very gay and autistic. I love it.
Good. He loves being excited.
Yes.
It's like he just gets excited about every little thing.
Related to pirates.
And then, but also about, like, his fancy things in life. Like, when Ed shows interest, he's so excited to share all that with him.
Because no one ever has cared.
Yeah, no one's been interested in that stuff with him before.
It's so nice.
Like, the episode where they get to go to that one party, and he's, like, excited to, like, dress Ed up and get him all styled, and then he's like, all right, well, here's how we're gonna behave at the party. And then when they get there and, like, he gets left out of it and, like, all that stuff. But then when he comes back and he's like, let me show you how I am a brutal person. We've seen your stuff. Yeah. Let me show you my mastery at work. And he gets to be passive aggressive and sneakily cruel and whatever. And it's like, he's very proud and excited to be able to show off his own skills. Yeah. And it's just a delight to see him so excited about things.
It's just very nice to see that, like, especially coming from someone who's middle-aged, you know?
Yes, God. That is, like, one of the best things about the show is that, like, no one really is young except, like, Jim and Olu and, like, their gang. Yeah. Everyone else is, like, middle-aged and
they're still having fun, which is nice to see.
Yes. They're having fun. They're falling in love. Yeah. They're, like, doing their own things. Yeah. They still have goals. And
I love that.
I love it so much.
It's just very hopeful.
It is. Yeah. Oh, God. And then, like, to counter Stede, we have Ed. Yeah. Edward Teach Blackbeard. Played by Taika Waititi. Yeah. Lovely, lovely man that he is. Who, you know, he doesn't show up till what, episode 3?
3, I think, yeah.
So before that, we mostly just have, like, you know, the reputation of Blackbeard, which is just kind of known in general. Yeah. And then also, like, Black Pete's stories of his encounters with building Blackbeard. Up to it. And then we just, like, see him, the first time we, like, really, really interact with him is when he's just, like, somewhat dressed down and caring for Steed on a sick bed, and he's just like, oh yeah, I'm just here smoking a pipe. Anyway,
we don't
you're
learn
not
about
bleeding
him
to death
immediately.
anymore. And he's just like, he just wants to be just a guy.
Yeah, he literally just wants to be himself, and I think that's what they both have in common. They just want to be themselves.
Mhm.
Like, they both come from these worlds that, like, they have to be in a role, and so, like,
Mhm.
they can just be themselves together, and I think that's what is so special.
Yeah, like, Blackbeard is so done being Blackbeard, because his reputation does all the work for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any fun anymore because he doesn't have a challenge.
And he has, like, expectations as Blackbeard of, like, what he can do.
He does, yeah, he has to be Blackbeard.
Yeah.
He can't do any of the actual work because the reputation does it for him. And he's just, like, slumped. He's, like, he's depressed.
Yeah.
He's just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then he meets this guy who's like, I built my ship with a library and a secret built-in closet. And he's like, I've never seen that before. This is something new.
Right.
And no one does new.
It's inspiring.
And it's just a thing for him to finally, like, get out of a rut with.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, Steed is like, I got myself out of my rut of having a wife and child. And
Heteronormative society.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, and I've met Blackbeard, who can teach me how to be a real pirate, because clearly I'm doing a bad job.
Yeah.
Not that he'd ever admit that, but and so they can just, like, share their own selves with each other.
Yeah.
And be excited with each other about the details that they never paid attention to in their own lives.
Right.
It's just good.
Yeah. They, like, admire things about each other that they're like, oh, I didn't even like that about myself, or, you know,
I
something
never even
like that.
noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
it's very nice.
The orange marmalade.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, it's just, you have marmalade with breakfast, and he's like, I need 40 jars of this.
Yeah.
I can't go without orange marmalade ever in my life anymore. And it's just finding the little things to bring you joy.
Yeah, that's important.
And it's so sweet.
It is very sweet.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to bring up a character who I think belongs in this ship, and I know many people will disagree with me.
I disagree.
Including Rachel. Rachel will disagree with me, but I think especially after season 2. That's the thing. Especially after season 2.
Hard disagree.
It is deserved that Izzy belongs with them. Okay? And I know this is controversial. I know so many people hate Israel Hands, but Izzy deserves love, and he deserves to be loved by Steed and Ed. Okay? So here's the deal. I'm going to talk about this for just, like, a hot second.
No, I'll let you go off, and then I'll tell my opinion.
Okay, see, season 1, we just see, like, bitter divorcee Israel Hands. He and Ed were probably a thing back in the day, and it went wrong because both of them are now bitter, both of them are sad, both of them are going through the motions, and all Izzy knows to do is, like, clench onto the only thing he knows, which is Ed, and hold on bitterly and for dear life. And that's not healthy. But what Ed is doing some of the time in season 1 is also not healthy. So, like, you know, whatever. No one in the show is necessarily healthy, but they're, you know, doing what they can. And that's fine. But when we get to season 2, Ed has, you know, like, everyone's in a bad place. Everyone is a bad place. Ed has been doing, like, real shit to Izzy, to the point where he literally cries in Fang's arms. And, like, let me tell you, that was the worst thing I ever saw in my life. Because it's Izzy Hands. He's the one who's, like, holding up for his crew. He is scared of Ed, which I don't think we've ever seen him scared of Ed. So that's where that break officially happens for Izzy. And Steed is over here having a fantasy of reuniting with Ed, and he's gonna do it, and he's sending love letters into the ocean. Meanwhile, Ed is, like, fantasizing about, like, chopping off Steve's head or whatever.
Yeah.
Marrying him just to kill him, maybe. God only knows. So everyone's in a bad place in this relationship. They maroon Ed. Izzy and Steed reconnect. And they start to bond. 1, over all the shit Ed put them both through. 2, over Izzy teaching Steed to be a good pirate and a good captain. And you do actually see them start to, like, befriend each other
Mm-hmm.
and, like, get close. Like, Izzy's even joking with Steed, and I was like, I fucking knew you had a sense of humor in you, Izzy hands. And we see Iz start to, like, heal with the help of General Crew as well. So, like, Izzy's getting to a better place emotionally. Steed is starting to stand on his own as a pirate. Ed is going through all the emotional shit that Ed is going through, going to the gravy basket and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they all start to reunite together, we know, like, Ed and Izzy, God, Ed needs to get better at apologizing, but they could eventually heal. We get Steed and Ed, like, reuniting and coming back together and fixing their whole shit. And then Izzy and Steed have already come together on their front. We really need to get that full apology from Ed, but, like, also Izzy knows he's not going to get that, so they kind of work out their thing in a whole slew of ways that is, again, not necessarily healthy, but they're working on it. Their shtick is to be unhealthy. So I just think that the three of them deserve love together to be a trio of pirate captains for this crew.
Okay.
Especially after the just all of the healing that all three of them did during season 2. And Israel Hands is my favorite character on the show now. Is basically where we've landed, and here's how Steady Hands can still win if we ignore the last episode.
Rip.
Rip. Rip Izzy Hands.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so my opinion.
Yeah, you let me go, so now it's completely your turn.
Okay, so I like Izzy. Like, I don't have anything against Izzy. I think he's a good character. I do like him just throughout the whole thing. I like Steed and I like Ed, but I don't think that they're good all together. Like, I like Izzy and Steed, that's fine. Like, but I really don't like Ed and Izzy together after the first 3 episodes of season 2, I gotta say. Like, those 3 episodes, it, like, went so dark. Like, Izzy tried to kill himself because of what Ed did and said to him. And as someone who has been in an abusive relationship before, I don't, like, that was very clear to me when I watched those episodes, and I was very triggered by them, actually, and I was like, they need to have a content warning for this.
That's
so,
fair,
HBO,
yes.
I'm blaming that on you. And so, like, after that, I'm like, no, like, Izzy needs to heal on his own, and, like, Ed, like, no matter what Ed says or does after that fact, like, I don't want Izzy with him at all. So that's just my personal bias and trauma, but, like, I just don't like the idea of, like, patching things up with your abuser and, like, going back to them, you know? Like, personally. Sure. So that's why I'm like, no, not at all. Hate it. Makes me sick. Like, just because of my own stuff.
No, yeah.
And I'm sure, like, a lot of people who also dislike it have their own abusive relationship trauma, because unfortunately that's common nowadays because men suck. Unfortunately. So yeah, but, like, I understand it conceptually, and, like, season 1, I was, like, fine with it, but it's, like, after season 2, it was when I was like, no, not at all. So.
And I, like, fully, completely agree. Yeah. And if these were, like, real, actual people, I'd be like, no, obviously, separate these men. In fact, I'll separate all 3 of these men. Don't let them near each other after everything that happened. But it's so funny, because season 2 is when I was like, actually, Izzy, I love you, and you deserve happiness, namely with Steed and a little bit of Eddie once we can finally get Ed's, like, fucking head out of his ass. And he remembers that he's allowed to be happy, because, like, but, like, no, yeah, like, absolutely, it's totally just that they're, like, fictional characters, and I could just be like, well, don't worry about it, he took a trip to hell for a little while, and he's learning. Because I can physically stick him in hell for a bit and then dip him back out, that I can allow this.
It's just, like, we all have different, like, tastes in our
For
fiction.
sure, absolutely.
Like, that's just something that I don't touch. Like, I don't touch BDSM because I have trauma for it.
Okay.
So, like, I just don't like that stuff. And if you do, that's great. But, like, I do not. So, yeah. It was really hard to watch the first 3 episodes. Like, I remember, like, I don't know if you could tell, I was, like, not about it.
Yeah, I think it was after, like, the 3rd one where you and I were like, okay, we need to stop and take a break and let's go refill the charcuterie board, I guess.
Yeah.
And take a breather, get some new drinks.
Yeah, it was just, like, bad for me. It was a bad time for me.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 were super rough.
Yeah.
Even without, like, a particular, like, trauma setting or whatever. Like,
no, even without that, it's very dark, and like, I didn't expect it.
No.
I think is what also made it bad.
Like, we knew going in just from the trailers that it was going to be, like, dark. We knew Ed was going to be in a real bad place.
But I didn't know it was that dark.
He made Iz cry into, like, Fang's, like, arms, and that was, like, the first bit that we saw. It was like,
yeah.
Oh God. Can I hug the whole crew? Can I just scoop all of you?
Yeah.
They took Ivan fully out of the crew.
Annoyed.
I'm still not sure exactly what the point of removing Ivan was.
I don't know.
Some people have speculated that it was like they needed to remove like one what's the word I'm looking for? Repeat character to have the budget for another repeat character or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know
no
that
idea.
that's. But anyway, Ivan
sadly
is gone, and they were just like, "Yeah, we lost Ivan on our last raid."
And we're like,
"Okay, like, I'm sorry, you can't just kill Ivan."
Yeah, it was a bad explanation.
Yeah, it was just like truly one line mention.
Yeah,
and then gone.
like okay,
like, you can't just what?
Mm-mm. No,
God,
I think just the reason why I was having such a hard time in the first 3 episodes is because my trauma got triggered.
Yeah,
and then also, like, it was just not what I expected, and it was way darker than the first season was, and I, like, loved the
such
first
a total
season.
difference.
So I was, like, very, like, let down, I think, just because I wasn't expecting what was happening.
There was, like, perpetual tension, because, like, Ed's all, like, the scene with, when Frenchie was cooking, or no, he came up to get, like, bandages for Izzy.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ed is, like, lurking over him in the kitchen. I was like, what happened to our Blimey's dad? Like, where is the humor?
Yeah,
the
it wasn't
jokes?
funny. Like, it was not funny at all.
And luckily, after the 3rd episode, we got, like, the turnaround as we got more into, like, oh, everyone's starting to reconnect, and we're getting more of, like, our normal dynamics back, and, like, Ed's, you know, dead for a little bit, and that's so he can get, like, some clarity and figure some shit out, and okay, we're getting back to our normal tone, a little bit less in the whatever is going on, like, whatever that was. I understand kind of why we went there, because, like, Ed was already, like, depressed in season 1, and then on top of that got his heart broken, and he's Blackbeard.
Yeah.
So naturally he's gonna go, like, okay, well, I will devote myself wholly to being Blackbeard, and that's going to be dark.
Yeah.
But it was also just like, this doesn't feel the same.
It didn't feel the same, yeah. And it's not saying, like, it was bad. I don't think it was bad.
It was very good.
Yeah, it was, like, in character.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It was just, like,
it
so
was just
different.
So wild.
And it was, like, whiplash. I wish they would have just, like, kind of eased us more into it, honestly.
Yeah, or at least given us some, like,
warning.
Yeah. Like, I said, like, with Izzy, like, attempting suicide. And then, like, God,
abusive relationships.
For real.
They even say it in the show, they're like, we think you and Blackbeard are in an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship or something.
Hey, buddy,
I was like,
maybe you should remove yourself. Like,
but, like,
do you want to leave?
It's not a joke. Like, they're actually in a bad relationship.
They really are. Like, I'm pretty sure they're already divorced and he still can't get away.
Yeah, so
it
was just really
we should put content warnings on our episodes.
No, I definitely will.
Yeah. I know you're good about
I try to be. I try to be.
Just, you know, a little note for ourselves.
We're trying to be better than HBO.
Sometimes it's not hard to do.
No. And And I really liked that they did go so dark because it was a reflection of what some people experience, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, some people do experience that. I personally don't, so I relate to Steed a lot more. But, like, the people who are, like, super into Ed and really liked that representation, that was great for them. Like, I do like that was kind of there for them.
Yeah, like, I think it made for a very interesting story, and it made for, like, very interesting character study, not just on, like, there was Ed, but there was also, like, how Izzy took it, and then there was how, like, we got to see Frenchie, we got to see Jim, we got to see Archie, the new character, and see how, like, she fit into everything.
Yeah.
So it did make for, like, a very interesting setup for the other characters and how they fit into the new season coming back.
Yeah.
And, like, I do think it was, like, a good story arc.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, like, I'm not gonna, like, say it was. Yeah, it was.
No,
good,
it's not bad. It personally was not the best fit for me.
Yeah, it just, like, maybe hurt a little.
Yeah, it wasn't the best fit for me, but it was a good, like, objectively good show. It's an objectively good show. Like.
Yeah. Here, we can move on to something a little lighter.
Please.
So, another absolutely favorite ship, and this is going to expand. Because it's another one that can become a poly ship.
Yeah.
So Olu and Jim.
Yeah.
Who in season 1
they're like a canon poly ship, basically.
Technically yes. So we start with season 1 with Olawande and Jim. Jim is so funny in season 1 though. Because, like, you see, at first you were introduced to Jim as this mute man with a large nose and a beard and lots of hair, and
very
he's
aggressive.
Mute, and Olu just, like, translates for him.
It's funny.
And then, like, very quickly you realize the nose is fake, the beard is fake, and they're actually non-binary and not mute.
Yeah, it's funny.
I love them.
But still, like, as violent.
Still very much violent. Still just as violent, if not more so.
It was nice.
And they're just so cool. I adore them. They're played by Vico Ortiz, who is also very cool.
Yeah, Vico Ortiz is great.
But, like,
one of the first non-binary characters, I want to say, in television.
Possibly, like,
one of the first.
That is, like, just very openly non-binary.
Especially in, like, a comedy.
Yeah. And I truly adore them. Their like, whole, like, main plot is they want revenge on the, like, 7 men who killed their family. And Olu is usually like, yeah, we'll do that, but, like, not right now. There's people who want to kill you, Jim. Put on the beard. I'm begging.
Too consumed by revenge.
Too consumed. The two of them are so cute though, because Olu loves them so much, and Jim is usually like, I'm gonna go stab a man right now.
Friends,
and Olu is like, can I hold your hand? Or can I, like, hide you from the people who want to kill you? And Jim is like, no, you can let me stab them instead. God, season 1 is just such a good little, like, development of the feelings between the two of them.
It is.
Then we get to season 2, where it's mostly them being like, hi, I'm maybe dating someone who's not you.
Yeah.
I know we've been apart for a while, so I started dating someone else.
Which is kind of weird.
It's like, you worked so hard to develop this relationship, and now they're just, like, besties? Like, what is this?
I feel like they definitely should have talked about it more.
Right?
Okay, that's a complaint I have for the whole season 2. There's not enough talking.
There's so much action happening. It's like, give me some more.
They really needed to talk more. Everyone.
And the one conversation they do have where Olu's like, I think I really like this girl, and Jim is like, yeah, also
Same.
Archie I'm super into. The two of them didn't have any acknowledgement of their past relationship. There was no, like, so are, like, we still together?
Yeah, that would have been so easy to say.
Such an easy, like, development of that conversation.
And it's like, okay, that's it. We don't talk about it ever again this whole season.
It's like, it's just like, hey, good for you. I'm glad you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, we're just all hanging out now. Like, okay.
And, like, there is some, like, background stuff. Oh no, my notes went away. It's fine, I'll figure it out. I know what I'm talking about right now. Like, there is definitely some, like, background stuff where you see like the four of them constantly interacting.
Yeah, they're like all together in a little group, but it's still
and I think
subtext.
occasionally I think there is like maybe at the Calypso party maybe where you see like Jim on Olu's lap or something.
Maybe.
But it's all background stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like technically yes they're poly, but like
they need to talk about it more for sure.
It's all background stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
I realize I've not actually said Olu's girlfriend's name. Zhang Yisao. Pirate Queen of China.
I like Zhang.
Zhang is so cool. I love her.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is how half the time she is fully talking in like modern slang.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like when she like brings Steed in one time and she's like, "Girl, talk to me."
Yeah.
It's like, I love you. She's just wonderful.
She's cool.
She's got her whole like pirate army. She just brings the whole crew and she's like, you can just like stay on my ship because I like Olu and Olu likes my soup.
Let's go. Yeah.
She's so wonderful. I love her 2 bits.
Yeah, I like her.
And I really like Archie as well. Archie is very good for Jim because the two of them are both like violent together. And just like very chill and tough together. And all 4 of them can be good together.
Yeah, they can be. They just need to talk.
Just like need to actually like have a discussion. Like, hi, are we cool with all 4 of us?
Yeah.
Or at least like some of us, and as everyone's chill with that relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know if they don't have that conversation. It never gets stated.
Annoying.
There is a poly relationship that is made very clear and heavily discussed, and that's Jackie and her 19 husbands.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That is wonderful. And I support her in her endeavors.
Yeah, and it was great how like the Swede got like into the polycule.
Yeah,
I loved
that
part. I loved that part.
Good for the Swede becoming one of Jackie's husbands.
Yeah, that was great.
I think the number's got to still be at 19 because they say like 19 and then one dies and then another one pops in. Right. So I think it's still at 19 with the Swede.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I think so.
But
it balances out. Leslie Jones is great.
She's so good. She's got a wooden hand. She's constantly smoking. She has a nose jar.
Yeah.
She's got 19 husbands, one of whom is the Swede.
And like she's being serious in a way that's funny. You know, she's not being like intentionally funny, I guess, which is a nice change to see her like shift a little bit.
I did really enjoy that she basically like joined the crew at the end of season 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she got like forced out of her bar and by all the Navy or whatever.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Seeing as Jackie's just so funny. I super thought she was only going to be like a bit character in season 1, like for one episode.
But I'm glad they kept her around.
She just keeps popping up. I love her.
She's cool.
She's just wonderful. God, Leslie Jones is just...
Yeah, definitely.
It's just so funny in general.
They had a lot of really good like celebrity guest stars in this show.
They do.
Probably because of Taika's connections.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if he offered me any role in anything, I'd probably be like, I will do anything.
Yeah.
I will sit here and be like an art piece in the back of a shot. Like, please, I want to come hang on your set. It just sounds so funny. God, I love it. I do want to...
I got it. My
Cat's
cat.
trying to knock down furniture. God. Yeah, I mean, I guess, let's see. Some other, like, regular characters that pop up occasionally. There's, like, Mary Bonnet, Steed's wife.
She's cool.
She was played by Claudia Doherty. And, honestly... Despite the fact that she did attempt to kill her husband when he came back, she truly is a gay ally.
Yeah, she is an ally.
Because after...
They fucking talked!
After she tried to stab him in the ear with an ice pick.
Communication!
He was like, hey, maybe don't. I can just leave if you want. I can just leave again if you prefer. I see you're in love with Doug. I'm also in love. And she's like, oh, like, what's her name? And he's like, Ed? And she's like, oh, I'm so happy for you.
That scene was so special.
That scene was honestly...
It was so special.
So heartwarming.
It's like exactly what kind of reaction you want when you come out to someone, you know?
Yeah.
Especially like your ex-wife who you have so much like issues with, but still is like supportive, you know? Yeah. Like that's so important.
The scene like literally opens with her like ice pick over his ear, ready to kill the man.
Yeah.
And then they like have a heart to heart, and she's like, "Look, you coming back from your pirate adventure truly ruined my life. I was doing great as a widow. I had a new man. I'm selling my art. I'm living independently.
Yeah.
Life is good." And he's like, "Well, my life was also actually good, and I'm sorry that I ruined yours, and I ruined mine also by coming back."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, did you like also find someone?" He's like, "Yeah." I did. And she's like, "Well, what's her name?" It's like, "Ed." She's like, "Congratulations."
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. And it's like, "Girl,
it was
I
very
love
nice.
you
It was very nice.
Mary."
That scene made me cry the first time I watched it.
Every time I watch it, I'm just like,
It's so good.
she's just so good. She's a good. I can't necessarily. No, she was a good wife.
Yeah.
She really was. She attempted to engage him so many times.
Definitely.
And she was a good mother.
Yeah.
And she's a very intelligent woman.
Yeah.
Who's like running this, or like not running, but like a part of this widows club in town. Yeah. They're all just like doing their best and like having a good time being widows. She's just living her life, and I love and respect her for that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yay, ally.
Yeah.
Love her. God, they had like so many stars, and I didn't write any of them down. But they have so many.
That's
people.
okay. You'll get jump scared if you watch this show by like the famous people who are in it.
It's just so good. Oh God, there were the two lady pirates on the island in season 2.
Oh yeah,
Anne Bonnet and
Mary Reed.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember which actresses played them, but they were people that I knew.
Yeah.
I forgot to write them down in my notes. I did not do well with my notes this time. You can tell, guys. I know. But they were so fun.
That was good. That was good. That was fun.
Just like absolute chaos. It was great.
Yeah. That was the episode where Ed and Steve needed to freaking talk more about their relationship, but whatever.
Yeah, they were. God,
they had like 2 sentences, and then they're like, "Okay, we're back together now."
Steve was trying.
They needed to just talk more about it.
They really did.
They really need. Yeah, it was like I was like, "Is this it? Is this all they're gonna do to talk about it? Like what the fuck?"
That was also the episode where Buttons turned into a bird,
which was funny.
Buttons finally accomplished his dream.
Love the magical realism.
Yeah, for the most part, this like
it confirmed. Okay, there's magic in this universe.
Like, mostly just like fine and like these are normal people.
Yeah, but every now and then you'll have some shit come.
Yeah, Buttons is like, or Buttons and Auntie, I think, were like just talking. And Auntie was like, "Yeah, like you're a sea witch. I know this. You're a sea witch," and he was just like, Yes, I am.
It is so
Buttons.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I just keep thinking of when Buttons was like, "Yas, queen." That made me die. That's so funny.
Oh my god.
Because Zhang was just talking, and then everyone else was just like, "Okay," and then Buttons is like, "Yes, queen."
God, yeah, Buttons is truly a wild card at all times.
He's so funny.
Straight up turned into a bird.
Yeah, just randomly.
And it happens like off camera, so there's still that like little bit of doubt. And it's like, what if he just laid down in the bushes and then everyone just left him there? Like, it's possible, but it's also like, no, I believe him. I believe he turned into a bird. Yeah. I believe this about Buttons.
It. It's so funny because everyone is like, did Ed kill Buttons? But Ed's like, no, like he legit turned into a bird, guys. I didn't kill him.
I saw it.
It's so funny.
I saw him turn into a bird, and like there's that bit of doubt for them too, but they're also just like, but now that sounds like Buttons.
Yeah,
like probably he did that.
I think Lucius is the only one that's like, you killed him. Like, if you're full of shit, you killed him.
Lucius deserves to believe that because he got thrown off the boat.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that.
I didn't like all the trauma he went through personally, but
yeah,
I don't think there was a need for all that, but whatever.
He was rat boy.
Oof, I don't want to think about it.
Lucius deserved the whole world, and he got that instead.
Ugh, I hate it.
Lucius was my favorite character before Izzy became my favorite character. So if anyone hasn't seen the show at this point, Lucius starts out as like Steed's scribe on the Revenge. Yeah. So he's there to record Steed's like marvelous pirate deeds and like tell the great stories of the gentleman pirate. And mostly he's just there being like, yeah, they cleaned the deck, and Olawande was there.
Yeah.
And also definitely is in on the mutiny that they're all planning at the very beginning of the show. He's just like, the best description I have for him is just sarcastic and enthusiastically slutty. And I love him for that. He's just like, he flirts with everyone on the ship. He's just like super into it. He's just having a good time.
Yeah.
He's the only one on the ship that can write, I think, except for Steed.
Yeah.
I think those are the only two.
Read and write, yeah.
He's also an artist. But he's just always there with some kind of commentary.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then he and Black Pete get together, and they're really
Which is cute.
But also, like, I remember, I think it was Izzy at some point was like, aha, I have proof.
Yes.
Black Pete, that Lucius slept with someone else. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that suck for you? And he's like,
no.
And then he's like, I'm going to tell Black Pete that you slept with someone else. And he's just like, hey, Black Pete, I slept with such and such. And he's like, oh, did you? Was that nice? And he's like, yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. I'll see you later. And he's just like, he knows, bitch. He knows I'm slutty, and it's fine.
Like, they're the canon poly couple.
They're like, so good. And then they get married in season 2, which I'm still like, that's wild. It happens so fast.
It does happen. It's just the pacing in season 2.
The pacing in season 2 does not make sense.
You didn't need to do all that.
Like the wedding for season 3.
I don't need to see that. Okay.
Like, I'm very happy for them and everything, but it happened, like, so fast.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that because it happened during the Calypso party, right?
Yeah.
Originally, that was supposed to be for, like, Ed and Steve, but then they were like, that's too soon, we can't, so we're gonna replace it with the Pete and Lucius wedding.
I guess.
I don't know
heard
for
that
sure
too.
that that's the case, but I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
Which I guess would make sense. They're like, we've got this big old party on the boat, let's make it, because that's also the first time they, like, sleep together.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we could make it this, and then they have all these other issues after, but they're like, no, that doesn't work with the story, so then they made it Black Pete and Lucius instead.
So, it's just the pacing in season 2 is not good. They should have taken the whole season about Ed and Steve's, like, relationship as, like, the main issue, and then maybe something else was going on, but, like, it would have been, like, overlapping with it, you know? It wouldn't be, like, one thing, it's, like, half this episodes, and then another thing's the other half of the episodes, right? Yeah. Like, and then they could have done the boat party at the end, and it would have been great, you know?
Yeah. God,
it was just like there was so much shit happening. I was like, what? This doesn't go together.
I love the Calypso party.
Yeah, that was fun.
You got to see Izzy and
hearing Con sing was really nice.
Yeah,
that was nice.
He sang so nice.
Yeah, he did.
And his drive looked phenomenal.
Yeah, and La Vie en Rose is like a great song.
It's such a good song. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it is good. I want to talk about Frenchie for a second.
Frenchie! I love Frenchie!
Everyone I know headcanons him as Ace, and I love that.
I buy that, yeah.
Yeah, just because he's just not interested in anyone, like, ever.
Like, no, I've got things to do. What are you doing?
Yeah, I have scams to run. Like, so I really like Ace Frenchie, and
I like that. Yeah, that makes sense to
he's like somebody that I ship Izzy with, for sure. I've read some fics. Wizzy, yeah. Like, we.
For Frenchie?
Yeah, yeah. It's
good. It makes more sense when you read it, but when you say it out loud, it sounds just like someone needs to pee.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like OUI.
Yeah, Wheezy.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think it's, first of all, a cute name.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, a cute, because you know Frenchie's gonna be like real sweet.
Exactly.
And, like,
that's what I like.
And gentle.
That's what I like in summer recovery.
Yeah, I think that's a cute ship.
It's a good ship. I've read some good fics if you're interested. There's some good
send them my way.
And there's a lot of good fics in the show in general, which is why I haven't written any myself. So I'm like, I don't need to write any. Like, it's all there. Which is like a great problem.
Oh, it's absolutely so good.
I have definitely made edits though, with a bunch of Fleetwood Mac songs and ABBA songs, of course.
Of course.
I'm upset that they didn't put any ABBA songs in season 2. I was like, what the fuck?
They did pick good music for season.
Yeah, like, they have good music, but I'm just like, I need the ABBA.
Fair, yeah.
But man, I was listening to The Chain on repeat after season 1, and then leading up to season 2, I was listening to Because the Night on repeat, because that was in the trailer. Like, those were pretty good songs for a while. But
yeah, that's another thing. I mean, one of the things I really enjoyed about the show is like how anachronistic it was, and that I think is like the music is part of that. In that, like, they constantly picked songs that like you wouldn't think to put in a period drama.
Yeah, because it's not a drama; it's a dramedy.
Dramedy, yes.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it's something which I have not watched it myself, but it's something they're doing with Bridgerton. They're pulling in all these like.
I haven't watched it either.
I think what they're doing is they're taking. Like,
I think
current songs,
but
and then
making
they're
it
like
lyrical, like instrumental.
Yeah, is what I've seen. But I think I always think that's just such a fun
I like
thing
it too.
to do with period dramas and dramedies.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's always, which song was it in Our Flag where it starts with like the kid on the boat like playing the chain? Is the chain? Okay, that's what I was thinking it was, but I was like, I will sound stupid if it's wrong.
No, it is.
Yeah, so it starts with like music actually in the show and then leads to Fleetwood Mac, and then it's just like it's just such a nice little touch.
The song at the end of season 1 where like Steed gets on the boat and like goes out to sea, that song is great. Miles from Nowhere by Cat Stevens. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what it's called, but the song where like Steed is the mermaid, you know, that whole thing, that song's pretty good too. I don't remember what song it is. I want to say Kate Bush, but I don't want to be wrong.
I couldn't say. It's been too long.
That's my guess.
Possibly.
Oh
yeah, Steed's briefly a mermaid.
Which is great. I like mermaids.
He's a mermaid down in the gravy basket.
That was so random. They didn't tease that at all, so it was completely a shock, and we were like, what the fuck?
Because it's like in the middle of like Ed's like gravy basket limbo vision.
Yeah, he's in limbo.
And he like gets thrown off a cliff down into the water.
And then there's like a blur coming towards him, and you're like, what is that?
And then it's like Reese Darby in a golden fish tail.
I died.
It's beautiful. And honestly,
that was crazy.
Oh my god.
That was amazing.
I love seeing the behind the scenes where he's like being wheeled around
to
like get to the pool.
I was happy that they made an actual tail.
They gave him a tail. They like the shots of people like leaning in real close to like stick individual like scales right around the waist or whatever. Yeah, it was cool. And just like him like practicing in the pool.
Yeah.
I so desperately want a mermaid tail.
Right?
I would love that so much. Yeah. They're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
They are too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I want one.
Yeah.
I think I'd be good at swimming with a fishtail.
After all the practice as a middle schooler.
Right? I was co-captain of my high school swimming team.
Yeah,
like, I
practice.
I could handle a fishtail.
Yeah. The only other note I have is I ended up like baking Roach's 40 orange cake.
Oh yeah?
I like when Samba released the recipe, I like printed it out and I made it with my grandma.
Was it good?
It was really good, and it took a lot of work, and I'm glad I had her help, but that was really nice because it like helped me go down to my grandma's house for like a few days, and that was like the like last thing we made together, I think, before she died. So it was nice. For sure. It was a good time.
God, I can't imagine how like
it was very sweet. Took a lot of oranges.
So much orange juice. That's a lot of liquid to put into a cake batter.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's not like 40 oranges. Really, there's like orange like liqueur and orange zest and stuff. So it's not like all orange juice.
That's fair.
Yeah. I have the recipe if you want to look at it. It's 8 pages long.
Oh,
it's so long.
You don't have to. I don't think I'm not actually going to do that. I don't know why I would have you.
But it was good.
But good. I'm glad. Yeah. That's really fun.
Yeah, and it was like all of the actors' interactions with the fans are very nice. That was like a nice time on Twitter.
Absolutely. Yeah, all the actors have been like really great.
Yeah, they've been really good. Yeah.
Just
very
so
cool.
Nice.
Very down to earth, I'd say.
Yeah. Like, even when the show was canceled, they were all just like, hey
we
guys,
love
we love you.
Thanks
We've loved you for like, as long as the show has gone on. We'll keep doing our best to like maybe get it re-upped. We'll see what happens. But if not, we've had this great journey with you. And it's been like, you guys are so chill and nice.
Yeah, they're very nice.
They're so cool.
And they all keep going to the conventions, which is nice too.
Yeah. They're all just cool people.
Yeah, I love them.
They're cool people. They made a cool show. And it's a shame we won't get to see where the story was eventually headed.
Yeah.
But
we have fanfic for that.
That's what fanfic is for.
Yeah.
And God, the fan art in this like fandom is so good.
Yeah. I made a whole separate Twitter just for this.
Nice.
Yeah. It's good for sure.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah, I think most of my notes now are just like who the actors are that like played all the different characters, but I don't think you want to hear me like list everyone, so we can skip that.
They're just all good friends and they get along with each other. Like, I know Samba and Reese hang out a lot, and Nico hangs out with everyone.
Yeah. I follow them on Insta, I think.
Yeah.
It's just so much of them being hot, and it's kind of rude. Would you believe it? I showed just like a photo on Insta of them to my mom, and I was like, this is so rude how hot they are. And my mom was just like, I don't see it. I'm like, what do you mean? Do you have eyes?
It's the confidence.
Right? She was just like, that's just not like attractive to me. I'm like,
not my
what
type.
part of it?
Your mom is aggressively straight.
she's so straight. Ugh. Whatever, it's fine.
But talking about also like the relationships, like Taika and Reese's friendship, they've been friends for like 20 years.
Yeah, it's insane. I didn't know that going in. It's wild.
I know, and it's just so nice because like they have so much fun together.
They just get to be like besties on set all the time and just like going crazy.
Literally, like when I was listening to Reese's podcast, he literally started the podcast in like 2008 or some shit, and like one of the first episodes is like him talking to Taika on the podcast.
They're so cute.
I love it.
Bros being bros.
Yeah, it's great.
But God, yeah, they play off each other so well.
And
it's because they know each other.
Yeah, they have the same type of humor as well.
I remember you were showing me that one, like, the lie detector interview.
Yeah, they did a really good interview together.
Really cute, the two of them just, like, razzing each other.
And then trying not to laugh.
They're just
great.
Fun guys.
Yeah, they're really fun.
Being silly. It's just always fun when you get to see people who are, like, well-respected individuals just being silly.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, like, hanging out, being goofy.
Yeah, like, you don't have to be fucking serious all the time, like, in a professional, like, you can just be a person.
Do you think they are ever serious?
I don't know. I mean, very rarely, I would say, probably. Probably, like, I mean, mostly, like, when it comes to, like, their family, I'm sure they're more serious.
That's a good point. They can't be goofs all the time.
Yeah.
Just around each other.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's a good show.
Highly recommend if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
Be prepared for those dark few episodes in season 2.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But I definitely like rewatching season 1. I haven't gotten around to it yet recently, but it's like one that I will rewatch. Yeah.
It's just fun.
It's very nice.
Warm, cozy feelings for
yeah, good like summer feels as well. Yeah. Just because it's like pirate, on the seas in the summer. Like,
it's adventure.
Yeah.
It's silly goofs.
And I think it came out like in May or something, so it gave me like summer vibes when I was watching it. So it was a good like coinciding of it.
Yeah. And so as a note, it is based on like real people. Like obviously Edward Teach was a real person. Steve Bonnet was a real person, the gentleman pirate.
Yeah.
They take so much liberty with these real people in that, like, Steve Bonnet, yes, was a landowner in Barbados. He did own slaves. That's, like, a thing we know. Edward Teach obviously was, yes, a real murderous pirate. They kind of have removed them from those places in history. Yeah. They don't really touch on a lot of the, like, actual real horrific things they do. They've just truly took them and they're like, these are my OCs now.
Yeah.
So
fiction does not equal reality.
Yeah. So, like, we can, like, yes, we do at some point have to be like, okay, yes, these real human people
we're not good.
We're bad people.
But it's like,
but my silly little guy Steve Bonnet.
Yeah. Like, as long as you recognize the difference there, like, it's fine. Like,
then it's absolutely, it's fine to enjoy the
it's
show.
not like they're glorifying all of the bad things that the real people did. Like, they literally are just making a fun show based on these characters, like, as concepts, you know?
I mean, they put Blackbeard in a crop top leather jacket. Like, I think we can just kind of be like, that's not the real guy there.
It's just like, sexualized, romanticized, fetishized.
All that jazz.
Calm down.
We love to see it. Anyway.
Oh my god.
But yeah, figured I'd throw that little bit there.
No, for sure. Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. Talk to us about it as well.
Yeah, send us your notes. Send us your thoughts.
Yes.
Do you think? I saw someone claiming the polycule of Olu, Jim, Archie, and Zhang. It was called garlic soup.
Okay.
Because God, it was so long ago that I read this, so there's I think more to it than just this. But Jim and Olu think somehow had some connection. Like that ship in particular had something to do with garlic, and that Zhang brought in the soup because of her like little soup stall. And I don't. I mean, it had something to do with like their name somehow connected to like the name the word garlic somehow.
I remember in season 2 they were wearing garlic because of the cursed coat or whatever.
I think it predated.
Oh, it predated that. Okay.
Yeah. And again, this was like a post. It has something to do with like wordplay, something or other. And again, I read this one singular post a very long time ago.
Yeah.
But their name came to like garlic, and then now we're adding these two new people, and one of whom had a soup stall. So now we're adding to the garlic, and now it's garlic soup. Mm-hmm. But I just think it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good ship name.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cute. I wish I could remember all the reasoning for it. But anyway, tell us your garlic soup thoughts. Tell us your
thoughts.
Your steady hands thoughts.
Yeah.
Any and all thoughts. We're happy to hear them.
Yeah, if you have an opinion, it will be received.
We've got the Patreon, which will give you access to the Discord. All that jazz.
You can email us, yeah. But see y'all next time.
Bye!